All right, welcome back to Hassell Cattle Company and Talk. We are, this is a good year. It's been a great year for food competition. It's been a great year for Hassell Cattle. We're all just getting back from Memphis in May, where we saw some of the greatest barbecue competitors in the world go head to head. There were definitely some surprises. And of course, Doug Hassell made his way around and had all kinds of great conversations with some of the best teams out there. And, you'll be surprised to see what some of the people he talked to and what they had to say. But we wanted to take a minute here at Hassell Cattle Company and congratulate this year's World Food Champion on his victory coming out of Lake Murray Country, South Carolina, and the final table. So we now have, welcoming to the show, the reigning World Food Champion, Mr. Preston Nguyen. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm good. How are you recovering after that intense 4 days?
Oh man, it feels like we just got back. Like it's been crazy ever since the weekend that we had the tournament. It's just been like interviews and then different like articles and press releases. Like it's been such a cool thing being able to experience. And then going back and then having to do finals, like that was like a whole new level of, I guess, not stress, but excitement, just being able to come back and cook alongside like classmates and friends.
And for those who don't know, that is finals in culinary school.
Yeah.
That's to go the skill level, precision, and just culinary chops that you already have this young in your career. Is that you just came back from winning the World Food Championships and $100,000 in cash and prizes and needed to get back into school to do your final exams of culinary school. Man, that's quite the few week span there.
It was definitely a lot of pressure walking back into class because now everybody's like, okay, this better be the perfect dish that comes out for the finals. And so I was a little nervous whenever our chef was tasting my food, but it came out good.
Yeah, you definitely painted a big bullseye on you now.
Absolutely.
You got everybody following and chasing you.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird feeling. Like I turn around and I'm still in culinary school. Like I just finished all my finals and turned everything in. And then it's like I'm over here in the major like competition circuit, like taking the World Food Championship title and having all these new opportunities. I'm like, where do I lie in this, like, I guess, field of culinary right now? Because I'm kind of in the deep end in one side, but just now dipping my toes into the culinary school side of things.
You really are. And, you had such finesse. You had great sous chefs. Mom and dad were your sous chefs. Fantastic sous chefs who really, in their own right, are phenomenal competitors. So you had a great team. And that's, whether it's the Super Bowl or the World Series, it's about a great team all the way through. But you could have great individual players. And we've seen this in professional sports. A team full of all-stars, but they can't cohesively work together. The three of you are all-stars that work even better together. How was that, of the three of you, kind of going from planning to execution at final table?
Yeah, it's definitely about team chemistry. Like you said, like if a team is stacked on full of all stars, but they don't have good team chemistry, it's going to fall apart. And so with us working together for so many years and knowing like how we all operate and how we can all excel, we just like to build off of each other and help each other succeed until the end. And so it was like an honor being able to cook with my parents as my sous chefs in this competition. And it really brought us all closer together because we spent extra time at home practicing together and figuring out like what can we change about our recipes and how can we improve. And so it was just a really big family bonding experience.
And I could see that. Everybody there could see that, and it's fun because they got to see kind of before, and then as you were named the World Food Champion, you saw the bookends of super proud parents, but in the middle, you saw fierce competitors and teammates. So it was pretty amazing to watch that. And as you guys created your three dishes, walk us through each round. This first round was the biscuit.
Yes.
The second round was catch and cook. And then the third round was quail. So walk us through what your three dishes were.
Yeah, so for our first round, we had a peach stuffed pork chop and our grits were shrimp and grits with a crispy Old Bay potato that was also topped with crab. And then for dessert, we had a peach shortcake that had a peach butter, and it was topped with a peach chutney. And then we also had peach smoked greens that had watermelon radishes that were cold smoked and infused with a peach liquor.
Yeah, that was huge. Everybody loved it. They were thrilled because the two infusion ingredients were the grits and the peaches. So you guys really showed multiple ways on a plate to be able to do that. Then that took you from top 10, then you that broke everybody down into the top 5, and you made it into the second round, which was catch and cook. So what did you guys do there?
Yeah, so for the second round, we did a pan sauteed striped bass, and we made a blend of our own hot sauce, and we put it in a pipette to serve it with the judges, because you got to have a bottle of hot sauce when you're serving fish. And then we did turnips two ways. We took the actual like main veggie part of it, and we turned it into a puree. And then we took the leafy greens and we fried it to make it like a nice garnish with a little bit of crunch to it. And then we also made a South Carolina red rice for kind of like that starchiness. And then for dessert, we made a South Carolina chewy.
And now, what is this? For those who don't know, what is a South Carolina chewy?
Yeah. I would say the closest thing would probably be like a blondie or like it looks like a blondie, but it's more on the brownie side of things.
Very cool. And the judges loved it. I got to be in there when the judges were deliberating and talking. They had a blast with it. They loved it. And that took you from the top 5 down to the final 3. You made it through into the final 3, which puts you into that last cook, which was quail. And that is a very, at times, difficult protein to work with. A lot of people get that wrong. It is such a small margin for error with quail because it's very small. I mean, it's a very tiny protein. So you can really, really overcook it or even undercook it because of being worried about its size. So what did you do for your championship winning dish?
So we did quail three ways. We try to utilize Manchester's products as much as possible. So for the main central component, we did a fried quail lollipop. So like we took the drumstick and we, what is the term? Frenched it. And then we fried it up after seasoning it and breading it. And then for the second quail method, we did a quail and dumpling. And so we made gnocchi, like a potato gnocchi from scratch, sauteed it with some champagne mixed in the quail. And then we also did deviled quail eggs for our third method. And we fried up some prosciutto, stuck it in as like that crispy garnish, added a few herbs, and kind of garnished it around the plate to try to make it look like that, I guess, like small garden feel because we wanted to like elevate the quail with it. And then our side dish was a Hoppin' John rice that had black eyed peas in it. We also had a South Carolina boiled peanut caviar. And then for dessert, we had a good time cornbread cake with peach butter.
And I love that you called it a good time cornbread cake. What made you call it that? Because that was such a great name. The judges even got a chuckle. What kind of was the thought process behind that?
Yeah, so when we were planning that we wanted to do a time infused cornbread, I made a time pun, and then we started like bouncing it off each other. And we're like, wait, maybe let's call it something like that. And so then we came up with Good Time Cornbread to kind of fit in with the dish name, Sunday Social or Southern Sunday Social, because everybody's just having a good time sharing food. And so Good Time Cornbread was what we came up with.
And that was a really good one. I was looking at different pictures of the dishes while we were talking, and it's, there's something to be said for going big. Like you're going for $100,000 in cash and prizes and the title of World Food Champion in your first year. Really, in your first year of hitting kind of that professional cooking. Like you're still so early in with going to turn it in finals for culinary school and everything else. You went big, but you went with a plan. You were very methodical in that plan. I remember seeing plot charts about how everything was going to be, and tweezers were pulled out, and there was such precision in the planning. It is easy to see how you guys really came out and just took the food sport world by storm. You're in culinary school. You are really starting to hone your craft. You're starting to really get the feel for what your style of food is, what your style of cooking is, where you are precision based. Are you more by your feels? Are you more by the numbers? And, to go through not only win a qualifier very short time before WFC this past November, but go to WFC, win the hotly contested chef division that had celebrity chefs in it, longtime executive chefs. Then to go to Lake Murray Country, South Carolina, and compete against the top other 9 competitors that won their categories back in November. And really to just hit the mark step after step after step, leading to winning with your final dish. I mean, you really have started to put your own foothold on not only the food sport world, but just the food world while you're still developing as a chef. It's kind of incredible what you've done so far, that you're still at the very, 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 very beginning of launching a career in food. And you're still in culinary school, you're still training, you're still finding your culinary voice. And, with having been so early in your career to have such big accolades, kind of where does that put you right now as you look at your career going forward?
Yeah. So I'm going to be trying to partner up with Kitch to try to do some live streaming to start kind of growing my social media presence and get more practice with live streaming and being in front of the camera. And then I'm also going to be staging at a few different places, trying to learn a few things before the next competition in November. And so I'm just going to be learning as much as I can. I'm going to be looking up cookbooks, maybe doing online classes or something like that, just trying to grow as much as I can. So that way, when I go into the competition later this fall, I can be ready for it.
Are you guys going to do any other competitions leading up to World Foods, or are you just going to put everything back into the World Foods?
It's kind of open-ended right now. I mean, if an opportunity presents us, like I know my school has been trying to get me into a few of them to go along with our school team, but other than that, like we're just trying to keep it open-ended until November hits. And so we're going to be trying out steak this year.
That ought to be interesting. We look forward to seeing, because like I said, steak is, again, it's one of those proteins like quail. It's all about precision, because you cannot overcook it. Steak is almost worse to overcook than to undercook. Like, it is just an abomination to overcook a good steak. And there will be a good steak at WFC, that is for sure. Where can everybody follow you and what you guys have going on?
Yeah, Instagram and all my other handles, I'm at The Culinary Code. And I'm just basically posting things about my food journey, like what I'm making or what's going on with my family, like what we make together. And so it's just kind of like a update of what I do.
You are a great proponent, a great friend of Hassell Cattle Company. What do you guys have coming up that you are going to be using Hassell Cattle Company products in?
Yeah, so now that our summer is kind of more focused on growing like social media and practicing instead of practicing for the tournament, we have a lot more time to make these dedicated videos that we can use for Hassell Cattle Company and doing recipes and I guess tutorials as to like how or what are some good ways that you can use their products. And so we're really excited to start cranking out some videos. We're gonna once June hits, we're gonna put our time into like full production mode and trying to put out some good content.
That'll be awesome. We will be looking forward to that. And of course, we're going to share that through all of the Hassell Cattle Company channels. So remember, if you haven't already, bookmark hassellcattlecompany.com, and then also follow Hassell Cattle Company on Facebook and Instagram, because not only will you see Preston in the Culinary Code, the dishes they put out, you're going to see dishes that I put out. You're going to see dishes put out by some of you who send those pictures in to us. So if you'd like your dish with Hassell Cattle Company products shown on our social media, send them to us. And you never know, you might see your dish front and center on our social media. We also have our new friends that came with us to Memphis in May that we're going to see dishes with theirs. So we had the Naughty Teas Creations, where she had a Wagyu, it was a Hassell Cattle Company Wagyu beef bacon, Hatch green chili from the chili company, jelly. So it was a Wagyu bacon hatch green chili jelly that we debuted an extreme version of out at Memphis in May. We also had our friends from the Duck Fat Spray Company, and man, I love that stuff. I use it all the time. And then also, Randy from the Fresh Chili Company was out there talking about the peppers he grows and Hatch Green Chilies and all of their different line of products that you can all find on HassellCattleCompany.com. So, is there a dish, Preston, that you are working up that maybe you've thought about in your head that you're really excited to try to make over the next few months?
Yeah, I'm really excited to start messing around with some barbecue, like and grilling. Like it's summertime, like I want to be outside, kind of feeling like the smoke and the fire just rolling. And so I'm really excited to start doing all those things again and cranking out those, I guess, like new ways to invent how you can use a Wagyu product.
Well, we're excited to watch and follow Preston and his team on the Culinary Code on social media. And we look forward to talking with you again soon, Preston. Congratulations on your huge win at the WFC final table and becoming the reigning, undisputed world food champion. Thank you again.
Yeah, thanks, Mark.
Have a great day, Preston.
All right, thanks, you too.